What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 49 of the Lipstick Nerds podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Powell, and joining me as usual, Amanda Kane.
Hi, guys.
Hi, we're back. And special guest, we've got another guy on the podcast. This is getting to be too much. We have Mr. Steven Santana.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, all the way from Vegas.
Yes, very hot.
Yeah, I can only imagine. That's terrible. Steven, tell me a little bit about you. So you and I met at the IGN house party,
Yes.
and you've forever coined the name, what was it, Reverend or Preacher, PlayStation Preacher is what I called you?
Yeah, that was what you and Mike came up with.
It was great. So we were all standing outside in this alleyway waiting for for the IGN house party to start in San Francisco. And Steven's like, I have trivia. Does anyone want to do trivia? And he brings out this little book. So there's this photo of him, and it looks like he's preaching to everybody because everyone gathered around to do trivia, of course. And it was pretty fantastic. So that's like my favorite picture from that whole experience. It was great. But yeah, so what do you do? I know you write some things sometimes, right? Or interview people and stuff.
No, yeah, I do. I'm a staff writer at Dual Shockers. I've been with them for about a year and a half now. And so with them, I basically get access to conventions and all of that type of stuff and interview opportunities, reviews, features, a lot of stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of us work remotely, so we're kind of all over the place. A lot of them are on the East Coast, and then, of course, I'm on the West Coast, so we don't really get to do much stuff together. But we actually recently got a friend of mine, Azario, who previously worked for Operation Rainfall, and he's now working for us at Dual Shockers on the West Coast. So me and him now are basically going to conquer all the conventions.
Nice. Because you got on stage at PlayStation Experience, and I know a lot of people are very jealous about that. I had no idea you were going on stage, and all of a sudden I saw a picture on your Twitter that was like, oh, I'm on stage doing a podcast.
Yes, that was great. It was basically I was doing talking with the developers behind the Edith Finch game that's coming out soon.
Okay.
And so I was talking with them about it, and they enjoyed the conversation so much that they asked me to then talk with them about it on stage for the live stream for PlayStation. And of course I agreed, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. It was really cool to be able to do that. And yeah, it was just, I really enjoy talking to developers. So it's always been fun to go to conventions and get to speak to them.
Yeah, that seems like an awesome job. I would love it. I'm not going to be very good at it, but, you know.
No, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed the opportunities that they've given me.
Nice. Okay, so we're going to start out the podcast like we always do and talk about what we're doing with our lives. So, Amanda, do you want to go first? What have you been doing?
I feel like I always have to go first, and I'm always...
Well, you have to go first because you have to show our guest what to do. I can't just keep talking the entire time, you know?
Okay, so I have to show people what to do. Yeah, but see, I'm a horrible, first person because I usually am doing nothing.
Do you want me to go first? Because
I
I'll
have
go
to, come up with something. Yes, please do.
Fine.
Please go first, Nikki.
I'll go first. Okay, so I'm going to save Suicide Squad till the end because I know we've all seen it, and I know we probably all have opinions, and I'd like to go and talk about that together. So I have seen it. That's one thing on my list. G and I spent a few hours yesterday playing Super Mario Brothers on the Wii U, which was kind of fun because I'm really bad at it, and he laughs at me every time I die, which is a lot. He's got 45 lives built up, and I'm negative 12 or whatever. Yeah, so what else did we do? We've started watching Stranger Things. I know that was a big thing on Netflix. A lot of people were liking it. I feel like it has a lot of downtime. There's some really good parts, and it's interesting, and I'm watching it, but I don't feel it's as amazing as everyone else says.
How many episodes have you watched?
Oh, God. 9?
Okay, because I've only watched the first 2, and yeah, I kind of had the same reaction to it, where it was I liked it fine, but it just hasn't been clicking with me the way it has with other people, and
yeah.
I need to finish it because I hear it kind of begins slow and then it picks up and gets really good. So
I was really intrigued in the first few episodes. Oh, go ahead, Amanda.
I know that you've been hating it because there aren't 9 episodes of that show.
Is there not? How many is there?
8?
Oh, okay, maybe I'm 7. I don't know. They're really long episodes, right? They're like
an hour?
minutes or an hour, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not paying attention. Netflix does a really bad job of keeping you informed on what episode you're on. So if you're binging it, you have no idea. Shut up. So yeah, it's good. It's not time consuming, but it is something to do with my time. So
Yeah.
that's not MasterChef again. Because I started rewatching Game of Thrones too, and I'm like, I should probably watch something different. So I started that with G, and so we're watching it. And then what else? Oh, found out that the OC is on Hulu yesterday, and I'm already a season deep, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Okay,
Yeah.
what is that show? Because I've heard things about it, but I still have no idea what it is.
It's like a fake version, a faker version of like Laguna Beach. Like it's
Okay.
kids that actually lived in like I mean 90210 kind of a thing
Mhm.
or whatever. Yeah, so it's along the same lines. It's a
Okay.
teen drama about dumb shit of
Life.
rich kids. Yeah.
Okay.
Gossip Girl on the West Coast.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's not bad. And I've been wanting to watch it for a long time, and it's finally out. And I'm very surprised that as soon as it came out, not one of my friends that loves it, Amanda and George and Alex, no one told me it was there. So I have a whole weekend worth of catching up to do. So, but I watched a lot of
You
that.
have like years of catching up to do. It's been out for years.
I realized that, but I didn't watch it on cable. I wasn't interested when it came out, and then it just wasn't on anything, and now it is finally. So I'm binging the shit out of it.
How many seasons are there?
I don't know, Amanda. I'll say like 12 and be wrong. I think there's
no.
like 5 or
Well,
6.
yeah, you would, because that number would be too low. Wait, did you say how many seasons or how many episodes?
Seasons.
I think there's like
I want to
5.
say like 5.
Okay.
I know that it said on Hulu because Hulu tells you how many episodes there's left that you haven't watched yet,
Mm.
and it said 90-ish when I first started. That's the number that I remember, and I
Okay.
have like 83 left or something.
4 seasons.
4 seasons. Okay,
Oh, wow.
thank God. That's not too bad. Thought I was getting into another
92
Grey's Anatomy.
episodes.
That you don't want to do. There's like 14 seasons of that. And then we watched A Killing Joke. So I came home from work on Tuesday, and G was like, "Do you want to drive 2 hours away?" And I'm like, "Why?"
No.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock at night. Not really. It's really freaking hot. I don't want to go anywhere. Why do you want to drive 2 hours away? And he's like, because that's the closest place that's showing The Killing Joke tonight.
Where did you go?
We didn't go. So I told him, I was like, well, look up, are you sure that that's the closest place? Like, we have a place an hour from us that usually kind of does stuff like that, so check and see if they're doing it there. You want to do it at Yuba City, and I did not want to go to Yuba City. So it was either between Yuba City and Napa, and those are the two closest. And I'm like, neither of those sound like a fun drive. I'd rather not, because we're going to have to leave right now. It shows at 7:30. It's a 2.5 hour drive, depending on traffic, and we're going to hit 5 o'clock traffic. So do you really want to do that? Do you want to pay for the gas? Do you want to pay for the food? And by the time I was done, he was like, no, fine. We'll just wait for it to come out. So we just waited for it to come out. But we went and bought it at Walmart on DVD and watched it.
It was a quick turnaround on that. Like it didn't take too long for it to come to like streaming and everything.
No, yeah, I mean, what, streaming, it came out a little bit ago, right?
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
Yeah. So, but no, I liked it. It was good.
Okay. I've only read the comic. I have small interest in seeing the film. I'll get around to it like all the other animated DC films.
I've never
Okay.
read the comic, but I know Amanda has.
Depending on everyone's opinion on Suicide Squad, I might have to leave this podcast. You both said, Stranger Things is okay, and then Nikki just said, I liked The Killing Joke. I think I'm gonna
I
puke.
did. It was okay. I mean, there was faults in it, yeah, but the storyline itself I like, and I was entertained. So.
Okay, so there was a big like thing because of the whole like Batgirl Batman relationship. Like how was that just kind of like a dumb thing that they just put in there, or did it serve any purpose, or
I think it was dumb. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't see any real need for it.
yeah. Okay, so it's just a dumb thing that they
Mhm.
put in. Okay. I thought so.
Yeah. Because, I mean, is that in the comic, Amanda?
No, that first 40 minutes of movie do not exist. They never
Okay.
happened. The
Because I
only
know
parts that
I've s-
happened was when Joker, like as soon as Joker shot Barbara, and like the scene where Batman is in the prison and the guy isn't actually Joker, but he thinks he's talking to him or whatever, that is real. And then
Okay.
when he shot Barbara and to the end of the movie actually happened in the comic. the first 30 and 40 minutes, whatever it was completely made up.
Okay. Yeah, they adapted part of it because I know they did a Batman-Batgirl relationship in Batman Beyond, the comic.
Right.
So that was like a weird adaptation that they kind of took from that and put into this movie for some reason. But how was the... Well, there's two things at Killing Joke that I really liked from the comic, which was the monologue of the Joker and then the ending scene where Joker tells Batman the joke and they both laugh and it kind of like fades to black. Like, were those well adapted to an animated film?
The last half, the part that was actually Killing Joke, was panel for panel.
Okay.
It was like the last half was good. If I could skip to a certain point in the movie, I would skip to like, I don't know, without like totally ruining it, but like Barbara's like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I would skip to that and then just watch the end. So it would be like a 40-minute movie, which is why they had to fill in the extra stuff. But the relationship between Batman and Batgirl was initially like a super turn off for me. I thought it was really stupid because he's always been like a father figure to her, and their age difference between Batman and Barbara in The Killing Joke. Barbara's like 19, I believe. So it's like a huge age gap there, and the sex was weird and like uncomfortable, but it actually wasn't my least, like it wasn't why I hated the movie.
Okay.
I hated the movie for the way they portrayed her. They portrayed her like a lovesick puppy, pretty much, and it totally killed it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that the relationship between them was kind of unnecessary and just like fluff that they put in there. But like the last half of it, I enjoyed. I enjoyed the prison scene, and I enjoyed the monologue and all that kind of stuff. Like I think everything that was pretty canon, I enjoyed. It did have its faults and its unnecessary parts, but I mean, whatever. Like it's someone else's adaptation of it. Who am I to tell them how to make it? But whatever. So, I mean, I'm really, really freaking glad we didn't drive 2 hours to watch it. And after watching it, G was like, okay, I'm really glad we didn't drive 2 hours to watch it. Because unless it's going to be something freaking amazing, what the fuck are we going to drive 2 hours? Like, why? Just no.
Would
There's
you
no reason.
Would you drive 2 hours to see Mad Max Fury Road in theaters?
I would.
After having seen it on HBO for free? Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It was pretty damn good.
Yes.
I was really entertained, and yeah, that was a good movie.
Yes.
So
That movie in theaters is great.
yeah, I'm kind of sad I didn't see it in theaters because big screen and surround sound and all that kind of stuff. But I fucking hate theaters. I hate it. Hate it so bad. The entire theater is empty, right? With small town, we're going to see Suicide Squad, entire theater empty. Goddamn bitch sits right in front of me. And I'm like, really? Like, who doesn't like to put their feet up? I like to put my feet up. Yes, it's rude to put your feet up on seats, but when there's no one there, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm pregnant, and I'm uncomfortable, and I want to sit how I want to sit, and this dumb bitch sits in front of me, and I'm like, there's literally every other seat here open, and you have to go and do that, and I hate it. And then you have to pay, like, fucking $20 for a tiny little popcorn and a slushie, which the only part of the movie that I actually like is the slushie, because I can't get that at home. So, fuck it, I'll just drive to 7-Eleven and get one myself.
Goodness.
So.
Yeah. Everyone seems to have such awful experiences whenever they go to the theater, and I've maybe had one bad one, but I don't know.
It's not awful. It's not awful. I'm just being prissy, and I want a nice experience at home, and I want to be able to pause the movie and go pee, and I want to like have the snacks that I want to have without paying $90 because it's ridiculous. So I pay more to sit at home and have it on release that day than to have to go to the theater.
Yeah, that seems to be a lot of people. I enjoy going to the theater because it's the one place where I am literally incapable of exiting and being distracted by anything else because of the whole, like, turn off your cell phone. It's super dark except for the screen. The sounds just kind of mute everything else outside of that room. And I don't know, I still really like that. I don't know if I ever will stop liking it, but I can understand why people would very greatly prefer to just sit on a couch at home and hook it up to the TV, especially if you're going to have to drive 2 hours to actually see something.
So your reasons are completely valid, but then that person comes in with the bright ass cell phone that sits right in fucking front of you and decides to text the whole time. Like, bitch, did you just really spend $15 on a movie to text your buddy? Like,
Yeah.
go home. Do that at home. Go watch Netflix for $5 or whatever. Like, and then there's the kids that are laughing the whole time because they're just there to hang out. Like, go to the arcade. Go get pizza. There's something else that you can do besides ruin someone's experience. It's little tiny things, but it bothers me. And so I've never had like a horrendous experience except for one time way back when I was like 18. Some girlfriends and I went to watch Don't Laugh at Me, but Twilight. And this girl with a sparkly ass like Team Edward shirt on wanted to fight me because I was holding a seat for a friend. And I'm like, bitch, I'll fuck you up. Like, you're wearing sparkly heels and a push-up bra to a movie. Like, you don't want to get in a fight with me. So I almost fought her, and that would have been the best experience ever. But whatever. So, Amanda, do you want to go next, or would you like Steven to go next?
I can go next because we've probably been doing the same things. Saw Suicide Squad. Watched Stranger Things because I love Stranger Things.
And what did you think of Stranger Things?
I loved it. So I understand though where you said there's like some downtime because there is. It's like, so it's based on like 80s scary movies. So there's like a ton of I want to say cliches, but that's the wrong word that I'm looking for. But like there's a ton of comparisons between like what happens in a bunch of 80s movies. I mean, it brings up like weird aliens and other universes and all sorts of stuff, and it's like even the beginning, like the introduction, feels like that. And so I loved it, and I like the fact that Netflix is really nice with their series, and they're like, hey, we're gonna make this 8 episodes, and then we're gonna move on to something else, because it's like, okay, I can binge watch that in like a day or two.
Yeah.
And then what else? And I saw The Killing Joke, and I hated it.
So on your I like the 80s feel of Stranger Things, you didn't realize that it was like 70s, 80s kind of a thing, like that it was further back, like supposed to be in the 80s. And he like asked me a question, and I'm like, well, it's because it's the 80s. He's like, how do you know that? Did you not see the puffy jackets and like the rotary phone?
Like what are they wearing?
And the wood paneling on the house, like, and the fact that they're playing Magic cards and not on a video game. And like, did you see the walkie-talkies? I mean,
did you see their versions of Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah,
like,
he's like, well, I mean, I kind of guessed, but I wasn't like sure. I'm like, no, it blatantly tells you like this is an 80s, like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Whatever.
Yeah, it has a very good Spielberg, Stephen King mystery feel to it, which I liked. If that pays off, I don't know yet because I haven't finished it, but I hope it does, because yeah, a lot of people have been building it up, and it kind of has started to become the thing where it's like everyone is talking so great about it that my expectations are just getting higher, and it feels like I might end up being disappointed. But I do want to finish it. I need to, because Danny Warris, who you guys probably know.
Oh yeah, I think we haven't had him. We're having him soon. He'll be on soon. So.
Okay. Yeah, he's just been bugging me about it, just to finish it, because he's finished it and he wants to do like a spoiler talk about it, and I'm like, all right, I'll get to it eventually, but I just haven't spent the time on it.
Yeah. No, I mean it's not bad, and it's entertaining me, but I'm not in love. So.
Okay.
Anyway, back to your list.
I really think that's it. Killing Joke and working. But my job is nerdy, so that's like a free pass the entire time.
Yeah, weren't you working with like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and a freaking Nerf gun the other day?
Yes, that was my breakfast.
Oh, nice.
Great.
Not the Nerf, like that Nerf gun was for protection. Cinnamon Toast Crunch was.
You don't have pica. All right, Steven, what have you been doing?
Wait.
Uh-oh.
I bought this.
Oh,
I found my snapback.
Cute. I like it.
That Danny was supposed to help me find. So I found it myself, Danny.
Is Nightwing your favorite?
Yes.
He is? Okay.
Yes.
He's pretty baller.
How'd you like the Ismahawk series for him?
So I'm not gonna lie, I haven't finished watching it.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
so
know.
good though.
He's seriously like, if there ever is a Nightwing movie and they don't cast Danny in that, I think I'd be heartbroken.
He's a
Unless
very
they do.
handsome. He's a very handsome young man.
He's a pretty
Yeah.
handsome dude. He's a lot shorter than I expected him to be, so we met him at Kind of
Mhm.
Funny Live too.
I saw him there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very stoked. I heard he was coming, and I had been tweeting him like constantly, and I'm like, "You're coming, right? You're still coming." And then he was like, "I might not be coming," and I'm like, "No!" And then he decided to come, and it was great. So
Yeah. He's in Vegas. Like he lives here. Because like whenever he does the videos for like the versus stuff, I look at the background and I'm like, oh, I know where that is. Like I recognize that place. So unfortunately, I haven't ever been able to meet up with him. But if you
you'll
ever
have
had
to
like,
like Twitter stalk him and be like, "Oh, he's at the burger place. Let me go to the burger place or whatever, and just casually run into him."
yeah, casually.
I don't think it's casual after you like give him the idea on our podcast and then make it seem super
I
creepy.
highly doubt that he listens to our podcast. Okay, but he is
I'm gonna tweet him.
he is on Team Boy for the baby. So I told him that because I planned on naming the kid Grayson if it's a boy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I have to be, Team Grayson." So we'll see.
Okay. The only game I've played has been Hyper Light Drifter because I had to review that for DualShockers, and it's really, really good. It's a Kickstarter game. It came out on PC and Mac earlier this year, and then now it's finally out on consoles. And it's really well done in almost every aspect that it goes out and sets out to do, because it's kind of like a throwback to the SNES, A Link to the Past. It's a top-down action-adventure game. You're exploring this world, and the world is very well done in that it has a very deep sense of mystery and mythology to it. The guy, Teddy Deep, who was kind of the head person in development of it, basically talked about how Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind, one of the Studio Ghibli films, basically their first one, was like a super big influence. And playing through it, I can totally see how that works. But like that's the only game that I've been playing. And then as far as like TV shows, I've been binge watching Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, because I totally forgot that that existed. And I watched bits and pieces of it when I was in high school, when it first came out in the early 2000s. And now I'm just watching through it, and that show is really, really funny and really well done. It has Stephen Colbert doing one of the voices too, and for some reason it's just like it's scene after scene after scene with like quick cuts and like gags and jokes and really clever setups and payoffs that they have throughout each episode. And I totally forgot that that existed, and I'm really happy that I like just randomly found it and then just started going through the entire seasons.
It's on Netflix, right?
I'm not sure. I'm watching it on a one of those websites that are technically illegal or whatever.
Okay.
So I've just been watching it on that because it's actually pretty easy the way they have it set up, where it's everything you click it, it'll tab down, open the video player, automatically play it, and then once it's done, it just stops, and then you just go to the next one. So it's like a super easy way for me to just watch at
You don't have
each
to like
episode.
search and search.
Yeah, exactly. They have it set up really well.
I think it's on it. I remember seeing it and like bypassing it, but I've heard so many good things about that and BoJack Horseman. I keep hearing
Yes.
pretty good things, and I watched like the first 5 minutes of BoJack Horseman and decided I didn't want to watch it without G because I don't know if I'd pay attention enough without him there to watch it. So I don't know, but I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, BoJack. I watched the first season. It's really good. I need to get around to getting the next few. And then I know Venture Brothers was on Netflix a while ago because that was one that I actually binge watched, and that's another like Adult Swim show that is just fantastic. And like some pieces of Harvey Birdman remind me of Venture Brothers, where they take these Hanna-Barbera cartoons and kind of just put them into weird, wacky adult situations with dark humor. And with Harvey Birdman, they're literally taking the Hanna-Barbera cartoons of like the Scooby-Doo gang and the Jabberjaw like band and stuff, and putting them into like these weird situations. And with Venture Brothers, they don't do that explicitly, but they just make caricatures of the Hanna-Barbera characters and then do wacky stuff with them. So like there's some similarities there, and I just really enjoy the humor. Adult Swim does really well.
They're pretty freaking funny.
Yes.
Like, the funniest thing that I've ever seen came from them, and it was on Robot Chicken, and it was like a 5-second clip but it was the funniest clip I've ever seen in my life. And we're watching it one night, like between, I don't know, Family Guy and Futurama or some stupid shit like that when we were teenagers. And it's this turtle, and the turtle is walking across the screen, and he has a snail on top of him, and the snail's going, woo! Like, it's the fastest ride he's ever been on. It was so great, and then it just cuts away. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Oh man, they're really good at just not having a joke go too long, where they know when to cut it or when to end it short.
Yeah.
So.
Just enough, like, and it was back when TiVo, like, wasn't really a thing, and you couldn't really rewind stuff, so you'd watch it, and you wouldn't realize what you watched until after you had seen it, and it's only, like, 5 or 10 seconds, and then it's gone forever, and that's, yeah.
Yeah, have you guys seen Rick and Morty?
No, but I hear good things about that, too.
Okay, yeah, because Rick and Morty is kind of the new show that's just kind of taken over everything, because it is really well done. The only problem is I don't want to build it up too much, because then you might end up just being disappointed by it. But yeah, Rick and Morty is definitely worth it. It's a really funny show.
I need to watch all of these.
I'm afraid to watch, well, not afraid, but like, I guess that's fine. I'm afraid to watch cartoons because, so I tried watching Adventure Time when everyone was like, this is a crazy awesome show, and hype, 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 and I didn't like it. And I was like, I don't understand why everyone is super interested in this. So now I'm like, sort of cautious before I'm like, okay, I'll just, like, I could see myself maybe watching Harvey Birdman before I watched any of the others, just because I've always, since that came out when I was like younger, I've always had like the adult, oh, this is like an adult show, like the adult feel to it. So I don't know, like everyone raves about Rick and Morty, and I'm just like, I've seen some of the commercials, I'm just like, I don't know.
I've seen the commercials and the jokes and stuff. It just has such a Family Guy feel to me, like it's a cartoon, and like I still have a hard time watching Archer seriously, just because I mean it's great and it's funny, and I love watching it like when I'm trying to do something else, but I don't know, it's just not something I can sit and watch.
What humor do you enjoy?
I just humor, and like if it's funny, it's funny. I just don't.
Okay.
I just can't sit and watch it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, funny shows I can't really sit and watch. I'm more of like sit and watch dramas and stuff. Funny shows are the ones that it's like, oh, okay, we're eating dinner and want to watch something while we're eating, so I'll watch something. Or when I used to do homework, I would put that on in the background or something because it's funny and I don't have to pay attention to it to get the whole show.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
No, but I know I should.
Okay. Amanda, have you?
Yes.
Okay, and did you really like that or just like it? Like what level?
I wouldn't say I'm on like the same level of hype, but I would like if there's an in between, like really like it and just like it, I would be in that level. Because some people I know are like crazy about that movie.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like other comedy standouts to like gauge because there's like lots of different types of humor. There's like dark humor. There's the slapstick physical humor, which sometimes works for me. Most of the time doesn't. Where it's like, oh, physical comedy. Oh, this character fell down. It's like that's not funny to me.
See, unless it's the Family Guy where they fall down and then get like glass stuck in their forehead and then run around because they were doing the Olympics and it was great.
Yeah.
Like that was funny, but. Yeah.
So Nikki likes dark humor.
I like all of it, but I just, yeah.
Okay.
I think you brought up a good point earlier, Stephen, by saying like you like to go to theaters and watch things. I think if I go to the movies, I enjoy a movie a lot more because, like you said, everyone turns off everything else and like you're just kind of in that zone. I know if I'm trying to watch something at home, like unless Sean and I are watching it together, it's like I'll be on my laptop and I'll be texting and I'll be like doing work while this is playing in the background. So there's so many movies that I've seen where stuff is just playing in the background, and it's like you definitely don't get the same feel because your brain isn't fully there and it's focused on other things. So
yeah, it's tough. Me and Brendan, who's my roommate, we watched Daredevil season 2 pretty much in one sitting where it was just me and him sitting there on the couch watching it, and it was good because like we had our phones of course, but like we weren't on it super like a lot, and I feel like it was because I was watching it with somebody else also that it kind of helped both of us focus, because I feel like if one of us started getting like super distracted, we would have called the other person out to be like, hey, we're supposed to be focusing on this, like pay attention. So I feel like sometimes that can help if you're like in the right mindset where it's like, hey, we want to set aside time to actually fully immerse ourselves in this. So make sure that if you see me on the phone for like more than 5 minutes straight, just kind of like staring at my phone, like call me out and stuff like that. So that helps to like have somebody there who can help you focus on it. But it's tough because there's so many distractions.
No, I had to smack the shit out of G the other night. He gets mad at me when I'm on my phone, and then we started Stranger Things, and he's on his phone. I was like, oh, no, 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 no. Like, turn it off. Put it away. It hasn't gotten interesting yet. Well, you have to watch it for it to get interesting, dumbass. Like, turn your phone off. You get mad at me when we're trying to watch Flash, and I'm like, oh, look, check Facebook real quick. And then you're doing it yourself. So, no. Like, no. So, okay. Anyone else have any nerdy things that they've been doing?
I just saw Suicide Squad Friday, and that's about it.
Which we're about to get into.
Okay.
And I can tell from Amanda's reaction that it's not going to be a good conversation. So, what did you guys think of it initially? Just, you liked it or you didn't like it?
Did not like it.
No?
No.
No? I liked it.
So,
okay.
I thought... So, what I saw it with my friends from work after work one day, and one day I mean Friday because it's only been out for 3 days. And we, after it was over, I was like, well, that was a hot mess. Like, and it was like watching something terrible unfold and you can't look away, I guess.
A car crash.
Like, yeah, but I'd hate to relate it to like a car crash, but I guess
a hot topic burning.
Yeah. Wow, that would be interesting.
That works.
It felt like a very long music video. For a while, for at least like the beginning.
It definitely
felt
had
like a very long
song after song after song. In the first like 5 minutes, they play 3 different songs that are wildly different.
And did you know that none of these songs that they've played are on the soundtrack?
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's only like 2 songs because they had original songs from the artists, like classic songs. And I'm like, I like the soundtrack because I like all this music and I don't happen to own any of this. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, I bought the whole thing. So I was like, gonna go buy it. And then I went to buy the soundtrack. And not one of those goddamn songs are on there. So
that's weird.
The original shit, which I didn't really enjoy. So.
Okay.
I felt like it was more of a Deadshot Harley Quinn movie. Why don't we break this down into parts? Well, we gotta organize this a little bit, otherwise all this is gonna be like blah, blah, blah.
Organize away.
What's the outline?
Alright, so oh man, I gotta do Nikki's job. Alright.
You do, yay! I don't have to work today.
You don't have to work today? Alright, so we'll cover characters.
Okay.
And I guess inside of characters, I think Joker probably has his own like good 3 to 5 minutes worth of spiel.
Yeah.
I was not prepared for this.
You mentioned Deadshot.
Yeah.
So, did you like Will Smith as Deadshot?
I think he was probably the best of them all.
Okay. Well, he's a good actor, is the thing. Yes. I love Will Smith. And I'm not someone that really reads the Suicide Squad. I'm not someone that reads the Suicide Squad. Not really. I don't read the comics. So I don't know like the background on who these people are, except for Harley and Joker, because I love them. And I really liked him. I thought he was good. I thought he was funny and, sarcastic and good at his job.
Yeah, I like the Will Smith. Like, I liked Deadshot, but it was because I like Will Smith. It wasn't because they had a compelling character in Deadshot. The way that they try to take him and make you sympathize for him because, he has a kid. It's like, okay,
they could have gotten rid of all of that for me.
Yeah, it's very cheap. It's very like, oh man, you have a kid. You got to care about this character. And it's like, no, I don't. I
No,
really don't have to.
he's just funny, and I could
Yeah,
have, yeah,
and it's because he's Will Smith. Like you
yeah.
have Will Smith, you have this great action hero actor, and of course he's going to be charming, and of course you need to make him the lead because you can't put Will Smith and have him be like a secondary character, which they
Right.
did for Joker because Joker is totally a background character to this, where you could take him out and he wouldn't have
No, he didn't need
any.
to be there at all.
Yeah, it was weird because he was so prominent in the marketing for this movie,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden I'm watching it and I'm like, we're only cutting away to Joker to take a break from the main cast, and then we're just back to everything that's actually happening.
I
Um,
was thoroughly convinced after watching the first like 20 minutes or whatever where the Joker's in it with Harley and it's the backflashes and everything that
mm,
that was going to be it.
uh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh my God, they're only going to show him for the intro to get Harley's background, and that's going to be the end of him. Because we basically almost seen everything that he's been in. Maybe the rest is just going to be flashbacks. He's not going to be in this movie at all. I
Hmm.
totally thought that was coming, and then he was in it a few more times. So I was wrong.
I was hoping that he would just be flashbacks.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I would say that probably 85% of him was flashbacks anyway, because then he, like, died or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, we should probably mention this will be
Spoilers.
spoiler.
Super filled with spoilers. Yeah.
So everyone turn off this podcast if you don't want to listen anymore. Okay, bye. All right, we're done.
It's gonna be on 3
Um,
weeks, so hopefully everyone should have seen it. Yay!
Because then he like died for an extent of the movie, which drove me nuts because Harley was just like sitting there crying in the rain for like a good 5 minutes.
And then she
And
was
I was-
totally over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole like, oh, he died. The helicopter exploded. It's like, okay, I know comics. I've watched films like this where when a character dies off screen, they're not dead.
No.
Don't try to insult
No.
me by portraying him as dead. Like,
Especially the Joker. Like, really, if anything's
Yeah.
gonna take him out, it's gonna be a helicopter? Okay.
I mean, I guess I can kind of appreciate that they kind of do the cartoon thing, which was things would happen. Batman would be fighting Joker. Joker would die, but you would never see the body, so obviously he wasn't dead. But this film, like, it didn't just cut away and be like, oh, well, the Joker's gone. We'll see him again next time. This one was like, oh, he's dead. You gotta feel the emotion because Harley's sad.
Born for
because-
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It was just, it was whatever. But how did you like Harley Quinn's portrayal? Because obviously that's a big character for you.
Um, I liked her kind
Okay.
of as her own. Like, there's been so many portrayals of her that it's
Hmm.
hard for me to judge her as like Harley. I really appreciated the fact that they gave a nod to her old costume a few
Hmm.
times, and that was nice to see that. Her accent, I don't know if they were going for, like I was telling Jeep, I don't know if they were trying to make her inconsistent or if
Oh.
she was supposed to be inconsistent and failed at it, because she had like that Brooklyn accent
Yeah.
or like the Jersey accent going on,
Mhm.
and then it was gone, and then a new one was there, and then it was gone, and it was,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something like, oh look, she's kind of bipolar, so is her accent.
Mm.
But I thought she was cute and fun, and like the whole, oh, could you light a girl's cigarette with your finger, because that'd be really classy. I thought that was adorable. Like, she was hysterical. And she wasn't the greatest, but whatever. Like, it had its faults. The entire movie had its faults,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was entertained the whole time.
Okay.
So
I thought Harley was good. It's Margot Robbie. I like Margot
Yeah.
Robbie. She's talented. She knows what she's doing. I liked how they sometimes would take her like sexuality and then she would play with it herself as the character, being like, "Oh man, I know that people think I'm sexy, so I'm just going to like push that and take advantage of it." I thought that was smart. It wasn't just her being like, "Oh, look at my short shorts." It was actually her
Yeah.
kind of using it to her advantage, which was cool.
like, I liked her in the elevator when she was by herself. Because then
yeah.
you kind of saw a glimpse of like, oh, the thing came down and she was actually scared for a second that she wasn't going to make it through a fight with it, and then she took it out and was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this, and then put her lipstick on.
Yeah, she was good. The whole like love thing with the Joker, I've never quite understood because they never show us them falling in love. They only ever really tell us that, oh,
How
they're
it
in
happened.
love. yeah, and we never really see that relationship even evolve. So it's always been like, oh, they love each other. That's it. And I don't know, it's never been compelling to me. I don't think
Yeah.
it's a good relationship at all, but people seem to really really hook into it. So that's I guess there's something compelling there for them.
No, I mean they're both completely psychotic. Like it's a terrible relationship.
Yeah.
It's by no means like a model, and it's not this something that should be like romanticized, which I guess critics were getting mad that people or fans were getting mad that people were romanticizing it, and I'm like, but it shows you what a bad relationship is. Like,
Hmm.
it's not something you should emulate to be. Like the love that they have for each other is cool, but then the rest of their relationship is just a big hot mess.
Hmm.
So,
It's
Yeah.
kind of like I felt like it teetered between having Stockholm syndrome
Hmm.
and like love. It was very strange, and I feel like it it kind of always teeters between that, but people never really considered it that way until you see it on screen. Because like realistically, like she's just super infatuated with him and convinced that it's love, and he just kind of like plays on that and then plays her. So I don't even really know if Joker actually loves her in that sense. At least it didn't really come off as it to me. I mean, maybe because he was like, "Yeah, I'm coming to pick you up," but like,
he felt more
I don't
obsessive
know.
with her than like in love with her.
Mm.
Right. And I think it was like level of like equal obsession. Because like when they're in the club and Joker's talking to that mob boss or whatever that guy is, I don't know. And he's like watching Harley and telling Joker that he's really lucky and yada yada. Like Joker just uses her to fucking like fulfill his like need to kill this guy.
Mm.
So it's just like she's kind of like I feel sometimes like she's kind of like his doll or
Oh
his
yeah.
plaything. So it's like okay, I can send Harley to go do it, and then I can look like the jealous boyfriend or like the white knight that's coming in to save the day, and it's really like this kind of like Stockholm syndrome slash obsession
Hmm.
sort of thing, I think. And I don't know why I keep doing this with my hands, but apparently I need to talk with my hands. Um, but I thought that so first of all, her shorts got shorter every time we saw her butt.
They did, because in
I was
editing they
like,
realized her butt wasn't showing quite as much as they wanted to, and they wanted to hypersexualize her, so they started
Mm.
cutting away at the shorts. And I'm like, whatever.
at one point I was like, girl, you look like you have a wedgie. Like,
Yeah.
that
She doesn't just
looks
have a wedgie, she
uncomfortable.
just has a thong on. Like, that's what it ended up being, a thong with a really big, like, back piece.
I think it would have been kind of cool if they played a little more tribute to her her like actual jester costume. I
Mhm.
realized that she like took it out and stuff, but instead of wearing short shorts or underwear or whatever,
She could have been wearing the leggings.
I think she should have been wearing those leggings.
Yep.
Um,
The
I
leggings that
think
are
it would have
available to
been.
everyone and that everyone can wear, and that I have 5 pairs of.
I think it would have been like super sexy to watch her like pull on leggings instead of being like, "Here's my bra," and like pull her shirt down over it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that would have been much, I don't know, more sexualized or whatever, and but also still like kind of classy because like she's running around in leggings. Like, those make your butt look good. So.
And they're a lot more logical to fight in than stilettos and booty shorts.
Mm.
Yeah, and if they want to make her lose some of it, I mean, she could get cut in the leggings, and I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
it just yeah. Well, this just got real quick. uh,
Yeah. She was good overall. She was charming. Some of her stuff, like some of her lines, didn't hit super well for me, but some of them did, more so than pretty much anybody else in that cast. Well, besides Will Smith. But like I liked how they had the flashback to like her and Joker in like the full on tuxedo and Harley Quinn outfit where she's dancing with him.
Right?
Like that was a cool like little like flashback of like doing a live action portrayal of something that was like a super iconic image of Harley and Joker together. Yeah, Joker himself was like, I don't know, he was so just off to the
Terrible.
side, and yeah, it was like Jared Leto, all the stories about Jared Leto and like all that type of stuff was like
How
so
amazing of a Joker he
overblown.
was on set and everything.
Yeah, it was so overblown because he's not even really. he's just being weird, and that's it. He has no real direction. Like when Heath Ledger was the Joker and like he was with other people, I felt a sense of dread of like, what is he going to do? But with Joker as Jared Leto, it's just kind of like, oh, he's weird. He might shoot him. That's about it. Like,
Yeah.
it felt like such a waste because I like Jared Leto fine. I don't think he's the best, but he has been in movies that I really, really like. Like he was in Fight Club and American Psycho, which are two really awesome films, and he does a good job of being a good character in those. But in this, he just kind of exists, and that's it.
Yeah, he is his makeup. Like.
Oh yeah, and those awful tattoos. The tattoos are bad. Like.
So here's something that I thought would have been a cool idea that G and I were bouncing around. Like, what if the next movie that they have him in, he's completely different? Like, this was his, like, Joker, I'm kind of crazy, I'm a gangster. What if his next one is more like slapstick, pull the gun, bang, bang, like, Joker? What if the third movie he's, like, completely different? Like, what if each movie he's a different Joker? That would be cool to see as a whole, that he really is psychotic, and that's not who he is. You have no idea who the fuck the guy actually is because he's different every single time. Like, that would be an interesting Joker to me. That you can't tell off of one movie, and you know.
Would they get a different actor for him each time? Too,
no, it could be Jared Leto if it's the same, like, if it's the same universe, whatever. Like, that's cool. Have Jared Leto be him, but have him be a different Joker every time. Next time he doesn't have the tattoos and the silver teeth. You know, maybe he's in his purple tux the whole time, and maybe the next time he's different. Like, I just think that would be really interesting. Like, with each story, a new Joker appears.
Yeah, that would be cool. I like the theory of him actually being Robin taken and turned into the Joker. I think that would be a really good story for them to explore. But I feel like Warner Brothers is not interested in doing interesting things.
No.
Because their movies so far have just been not interesting.
Well, they're not interested in doing good things either, so.
Yeah. What did you guys think of Batman vs. Superman?
So I fell asleep
Of course you did.
during Batman vs. Superman. So apparently the director's cut is like miles beyond what I saw in the
No, it's not miles beyond. It answers a few questions, which is nice. And I'm like, why would you cut that out? You could have cut this other part out that's completely useless. Like, the director's cut, they added a bunch of information. Okay, they added some information, which was good. But then they also added Superman one more showing of his shirt off, which I'm not going to complain about, but it was kind of unnecessary. And then they showed a shower scene with Ben Affleck with his butt showing, which again I'm not going to complain about, but it was unnecessary.
We already got that in Gone Girl anyway, so.
Yeah, but this one was better because it was a little more clear.
So, all right.
Yeah. It was totally necessary.
Get that 4K resolution.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I didn't like Batman vs. Superman. I went into it being like, all right, maybe it'll be fine, and then like, because the reviews, of course, were like they were just awful. But yeah, then coming out of it, I'm like, no, that was just bad. That was a bad movie. And then same with Suicide Squad, where I was like, man, the trailers are really good. This could be the good Warner Brothers film, and then the reviews are like awful, and I'm like, oh God, not again. And then and then I see it, and I come out, and I'm like, no, that was a bad film. That was a bad film.
So something that they did in Batman vs. Superman trailers that they didn't do in Suicide Squad trailers, which I really appreciated, was Batman spoiled the fact that Justice League was going to be shown. They spoiled Wonder Woman being there. They fucking spoiled everything. Had they not shown Wonder Woman, you might have been intrigued at the girl when you first saw her and been like, who is she? And then people that actually know more about comics might have been like, Wonder Woman's here, that's so cool. And then she comes in the end, and it's Wonder Woman, and it's amazing, and it's a shocker, but they told everybody about it. I had no idea that the Batman and the Flash were going to be in Suicide Squad. And then they popped up, and I'm like, cool, awesome. Like, that was so awesome. It was something that I wasn't expecting.
I knew Batman was going to be in it, because he is in an image from the trailer. But the Flash was totally a secret. Nobody knew about the Flash beforehand.
Somebody spoiled Batman for me, actually. They were like, I just saw it. Can you believe that they put Batman in it? Oh my God. I'm like, well, fuck you.
Yeah. He's like kind of in it. He's in it for like cameos.
Yeah. They could have had him a lot less. Like, I feel the whole part with Will Smith and the daughter in the alley didn't need to happen like that. They could have just, like, Batman could have just come down and taken him, like right
Yeah.
there, and the girl would have been like, "Oh my God, where's my dad?" And then
Yeah, but we had to have the scene where she's standing in front of him so that it could happen again.
no,
near
Dad,
the
don't
end.
kill him.
Yeah. Child actors suck.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
How did you like Amanda Waller? Like, she's the only other major character, really.
She's the one that put them all together, right?
Yeah, she was the Viola.
I'm just
Davis?
checking.
I think that's the actress name. But yeah, she's the one who's like the head of the organization.
Yeah, I don't really like her.
Amanda.
So, Amanda Waller has always been like I guess like a bitch, like a pretty like hot-headed, cold bitch.
Like, did they do a good job of portraying her? Because maybe it was just like, I don't know that that's who she's supposed to be.
So, I think so. I think everything that she's been portrayed in so far, because she was in Arrow by a different actress, she comes off the same, which is good. She seems to be like have like a fairly consistent role. There were some things I didn't really enjoy that she did, which, I mean, you're not really supposed to enjoy much that she does anyway. But for instance, like when they're in the security room and Suicide Squad comes to save them, or specifically just her, and she just turns around and like shoots everyone else in the room and then just walks out. Like, no big deal, it's fine. It's good. I just killed like all of my employees. They were just like extra pieces anyway. Like, that's something I'd expect her to do because she's cold, but the way that it was just like meh, it was like really kind of uncomfortable, I guess.
I had no idea why.
Yeah, exactly, and you don't know why.
Yeah, she just killed him just because.
Her character to me was just like, oh, she's tough, she's a hard ass, she gets what she wants and she does whatever she can to do it. But like that was it. There wasn't much else to her, and it was just like, okay, well, I mean, I guess that's cool that she's like super. She knows what she wants, she knows how to get it, and she's gonna get it. And like, okay, that's fine. But like, there's no other nuance to her character besides that. And it's just like, okay, well, whatever. I guess that's fine. It was annoying how constantly she would bring up like, oh, I could blow your head off if I wanted to. Any second,
Right.
I'd blow it off, and it's just like, okay, you're doing that so much. You're like. It's like when you tug on the leash so hard that it's like, okay, well, it just becomes dead, where it's like that's not even like a real threat to me anymore.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
Right.
I get it. Like, come up with something new.
Yeah.
And I don't really appreciate the fact that 3/4 of the movie had to do with the fact that the bitch wouldn't get on a plane to leave. Like, this whole situation is happening because you're a dumb cunt and wouldn't get on the plane and leave. And then now all these guys had to get together to save your ass? Like, is that what you planned in the beginning? Or is that just like a side thing that happened? Because we could have cut that out and she could have just been on the computer the whole time and whatever. And then we could have spent more time on the actual villain, which wasn't that great. Maybe they could have built her up to be greater, because that's what I want to know if you guys liked or not, was the whole villain thing not working.
Amanda, you can.
Wait, what do you mean by the villain thing not working?
So Cara Delevingne and her character, like, first of all, she was terrible at both of them, and then just, like, that was it. Just a little bit of she and her brother, and, like, it didn't feel like they were the actual bad guys, like, until the very, very, very end.
Think we knew really who the bad guy was. I think it was kind of an experiment with, okay, everyone's a bad guy in this movie, because like
the bad
I would
guy.
consider, I mean, Joker is a villain. Amanda Waller I would consider a villain in this movie. The way that
but those
she's
were all
portrayed.
kind of like side plots and like side villains. Like the
Exactly.
main thing that I felt was supposed to happen in this was the witch like taking over or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But also, I mean, if that's the case, then what was the main plot of this movie? Because the whole witch thing, like, the only reason, aside from, like, oh, yeah, let's put an action movie into this, it was like, oh, well, I'm in love with this woman. Like, it was a love story.
Yeah, no, there was no plot. That's my issue. There was no main
Right.
plot. It was 12 different plots smashed into one thing.
It was a meandering adventure of mediocrity.
Mediocrity. Good call.
You guys are making me
I
hate
like
this
that.
movie.
I
I enjoyed it. I watched it and I was like, I'm entertained, and Harley
good.
and Deadshot kept me entertained the whole time, and now I'm like, fuck, I didn't really like it, and I hate you.
It's fine to enjoy it, but it's like there's a difference between enjoying something and thinking something is like a work of quality.
Oh
Uh,
no, this was not a work of quality.
Yeah, which I feel like a lot of people miss when they're talking online about it because people are like, "Oh, why the review so bad? I enjoyed it." It's like, okay, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it, but like, you have to recognize overall, like, as a film, it's not a great or good film. It's fine to enjoy it. I enjoy awful films.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Batman Forever, the Joel Schumacher one, with
Oh,
the Bat
yeah.
nipples and
Yeah.
Jim Carrey as Riddler. That's a bad film.
Oh yeah, it is, but it's
I
so
like
good.
it a lot. Yeah,
And
like
the one with George Clooney and Alicia
Yeah, that's a
Silverstone
bad film.
being Barbara, but not Barbara Gordon, was fantastic.
Yeah, it was
So
bad.
terrible.
It was bad, but I loved it because Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it, and he's just like doing these stupid ice puns. Like there's a difference between enjoying something and thinking it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. The main plot was just like, all right, we want to the first part was all exposition, all like character backstories for some of them, not all of them. Like Killer Croc, you don't get anything about him at all. He just kind of exists to exist.
And has one pretty decent one-liner about calling
which
himself
one?
handsome or whatever. Harley's like, not him.
yes.
He's just ugly on the outside too. And he's like, bitch, I'm pretty or whatever. Like I'm
Yes.
gorgeous.
That was good. There was an unintentionally hilarious part with him where he's crawling into the water that me and my sister just burst out laughing.
He fucking looks like he's twerking down the stairs or something. He's like,
Yes.
down there,
It was
yeah.
so funny. And then he does the line that was like a weird reinterpretation of Bane's line from The Dark Knight Returns, The Dark Knight Rises, which was like, I was born in the shadows. You were really adopted.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was
He-
born underground or
I
whatever.
live
Yeah.
underground. You're just visitors or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's great.
So bad.
I kind of liked him. He was funny. He could have been a little
yeah.
more buff in the shoulders because he felt really like a
Skinny.
pop figure. Like his head was abnormally large.
Hmm.
I thought he was pretty fun. I kind of like the side characters ish, like Boomerang and Killer Croc.
Boomerang was like good because they didn't really do much with him besides like his whole gag at the very beginning was like, oh, the pink unicorn thing. Like that was like
That was cute.
a funny gag that they did like twice, but then they totally drop it and it never appears.
It could have done it 2 or 3 more times. Brought that circle around.
I expected him to be like way funnier. I
Mm.
kind of
Yeah.
expected him to be like the comic relief in a way, because like when he and Slipknot are like planning an escape,
Mm.
and you expect him to say something when Amanda Waller just blows Slipknot's head, and he's just like, oh,
That was completely out of Assault on Arkham.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that entire part, I remember it very vividly. I don't know if it had to do with the actual 2 characters, but I remember that clearly being a point in Assault on Arkham that they were like, yeah, we're going to get out of here. And then they convinced someone to try and run, and they blew his head off. So, which
Right.
was a fantastic movie. If you want a good Suicide Squad movie, go watch Assault on Arkham. Yes, it's cartoon,
that is
but
that
it's
is
really
one
good.
of my favorite
Yeah,
animated movies.
DC's been good with the animated films mostly.
Yeah.
And it's always the live action stuff that's just like
Flashpoint Paradox, the Batman one that G just got. Which one was it? Gotham Knight or something?
oh, okay.
I can't remember. Yeah, that one was good. Like,
I love Bad Blood. It's probably one of my favorites.
yeah.
That's the one with
Did you-
Damien.
It's Batman's gone, and Grayson is pretending to be Batman, so people don't know that Batman's gone, and they're not afraid. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
like trying to be Batman, and Damien finds out, and he's like, "You're never Batman. You're never good enough to be Batman. Let me help you." And then Batwoman comes into the movie as well, so it's
Oh.
like a Bat team up without Batman.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah,
They need
I've seen
to-
that one.
They need to do Hush. Like they need to do an animated Hush movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
they do.
That would be
Animated.
so good.
Animated, not
Yes.
live
Yes,
action.
please.
Because if they're
Not
gonna
live
continue to drop the ball, just stop.
Yeah.
Like, they just
Um,
need to release the animated ones in theater all the time,
hmm.
except The Killing Joke, apparently.
Or they can have the directors of the animated ones be the directors of
Right?
the
Like, who's directing all
live-action
these?
ones.
Yeah, David Ayer did Suicide Squad. He hasn't really done a lot before, and of course Zack Snyder did Batman vs Superman, and Zack Snyder is just not. He did Watchmen, which I really enjoyed. He did 300, which is good, but it's because but it's only because he's doing a direct adaptation of source material. Because Batman vs Superman isn't a direct adaptation of anything. It's just like, oh, Batman's older because Dark Knight Returns was cool, and so we'll have them fight because they did that in Dark Knight Returns, and that's about the only thing that he took. And the rest of it is just like dumb, like Colin said on Colin Greg Live a long time ago, which was it was just action figures and just banging them together.
So what I hate is that they literally have written the movie out for you. They have each one of your scenes, and they have all of the dialogue. Like, you literally just have to act it out, and you're still fucking this up. How many comic books do you have to choose from to make a movie from that are written out for you?
Yeah.
How do you continue to screw this up? Like,
it's frustrating.
I just want one to be really good. Like, I want to come out of the theater and say that a movie is amazing and justify it. I mean, I in no way said Batman vs Superman or Suicide Squad was amazing. They're good movies, and I was entertained.
Yeah.
They're bad, but I was entertained.
Yeah.
So, but they're not good movies, and it just sucks that we keep getting let down like that.
I wanted Suicide Squad to be good. Like, everything seemed to be... Yeah, it sucks. We all wanted it to be good because it was just like, oh, it has Will Smith, it has Margot Robbie, it like has this certain charm to it in the trailers where it's like got this like music that kind of goes well with it, and then it's just like a mess. It's just a mess.
I need a really good director to direct a Joker and Harley movie from start to finish of their relationship.
David Fincher is really good. I don't know if he would ever want to do it though.
I'll take it. I don't care. Because I like that relationship, just it needs to be, I want to see Jack Napier turn into Joker, and I want to see Harley meet him in the hospital, and I want to see that relationship like flourish, and I want to see them break out and like do these crazy things, and you know.
David Fincher would be perfect.
I don't want them to have terrible accents and look like they're kind of gang.
Damn it. Just...
Oh man. Yeah, David Fincher would be great because he does dark stuff, and he did Gone Girl, which was like a messed up relationship.
Good.
Yeah, it was really good. I think he would. He would never want to do that though. He would never. But
such potential.
Yeah, I think Christopher Nolan was like the only person who like came in and did good stuff, and now he's gone doing other stuff, and DC's like, oh, we should have just kept him for everything.
Yeah, they really should have just cast Troy Baker as the Joker because that would have been really great.
Oh god.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. I wonder what he would probably.
He did a great job. His laugh is flawless.
Yes.
Like
He's
honestly,
really
pick Hamill, DiMaggio, and Baker, and tell me which one's laugh is which, because they're so close together, and they're all three so good that I like them. They're the good ones.
Yeah, but no, it's not a good movie.
Yeah, no.
It's sad. Slipknot it's funny because Slipknot shows up, he comes out of the car, and nobody talks about him at all, and then they just have his head blow up, and then that's it.
Yeah. Okay, and the chick with the katana.
Oh, yeah.
Katana?
Yeah, okay. So, like, you want me to feel bad because her husband's dead? It's another one of those, like, you had this potential to make me feel bad. Why didn't you tell me more of her backstory about how her husband died and all this shit? Instead of doing Will Smith's, like, thing and killing Joker and doing all these things, like, give me a little more background on her. Maybe I would have felt bad for her. But I felt like she was nothing. She was just there.
Yeah, she existed.
Yeah. So. All right. We have any more thoughts we want to talk about this movie, if you want to call it that?
I mean, I don't know. Enchantress was whatever. They had a cool effect with like the whole like her hand and then the other hand would like come up and then
so cool.
That was cool.
So, like that was cool. I like that.
Okay, their effects in the movie were good. Their
generally.
costuming was good. Whether or not you liked how they looked, the costumes themselves were pretty good.
Oh yeah. There wasn't a lot of costumes. It was like Deadshot had his like outfit. Harley Quinn kind of had an outfit, but it was just more of like something she could have done at any other point. Killer Croc's makeup looked fine, but yeah, they could have definitely like buffed him up more because like whenever he's portrayed in like the games or the comics, he's like
Isn't he like huge?
he's like
Yeah.
huge,
Massive
like, he's,
dude.
like, yeah. And then for him to be in this one, and he's just like
Like, why didn't they have The Rock play Killer Croc or something?
Oh, that would have been good.
Big, tall, buff dude.
He's supposed to be Shazam, Mr. Marvel or whatever, Captain Marvel. Which will be interesting if they ever get to that, because I feel like if Warner Brothers keeps just doing awful films, like, are they just gonna try and do it again, like just reboot it again, or are they just gonna like be like, nope, this is our vision, and they're just gonna push through it, and we're gonna get like 5 other Justice League movies that are just not good?
I hope the Justice League movie is good. I'm scared. I'm scared. I mean, the Wonder Woman trailer looks good. See, I didn't think that the Suicide Squad trailer looked good. I was just like, okay, this could be interesting. So I was like, okay, like, I never had high expectations for the movie as a whole. For whatever reason, it's currently rated 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb, though. And so it's like, I don't know, I never really went in there and was like, this movie is going to be great. I was like, okay, this looks alright. I don't know how they're going to do this, because it's so many characters, and so many people are going to get lost. And the concept of, like, having villains do a movie together and try and figure out, like, how to be slightly less of a villain, because I really wouldn't say anyone was, like, a hero, per se. Maybe, like, an anti-hero, but...
Anti-hero, for sure.
It's just, like... I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping there's at least one good. They gotta do at least one good movie, right?
Wonder Woman looked promising. Like, so I didn't notice it, but as I watched the trailer, and then I went back and watched the director's cut of Batman vs Superman, when he pulls that picture up of her from like the 20s or whatever it was, or 40s, or I don't know, way back. Chris Pine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was in that photo.
Oh, okay.
Because they showed that photo in the Wonder Woman trailer too. And he's her love interest / main dude or whatever in that, and he was in the photo. I'm like, good way to tie that in. That's a nice start. So
yeah, we'll see if it's good.
Yeah.
It's like the Sonic fan rotation, where it's like Sonic fans are like, oh man, that game was bad, but this next one's going to be good, and then it looks good, and then it comes out and it's awful, and then it's just like, all right, well, the next one looks really good, and it's just a cycle. And it seems to be happening with DC too, because it's just like every movie comes out and it's like, oh, well, it was bad, but the next one looks really good, and it continues.
So it's supposed to come out in 2017.
Wonder Woman, yeah.
Summer 2017. God damn it. They did it like every 6 months or something.
You know what else comes out summer 2017 though? Is Spider-Man.
Yep.
With the new Spider-Man?
Yes. Tom Holland?
Yeah,
Yep.
he was cool.
It's so cute.
But I
He's so
really
cute.
liked Andrew Garfield.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Garfield was
So
like perfect.
I'm very sad that they didn't keep him.
Yeah, it sucks.
But I mean, I also feel the same about Grant Gustin as Flash and them not using him. But I get it.
He's a CW.
He is a CW.
Okay, all right.
But I really, I did not like Grant Gustin as an actor before, because I saw him play in Glee and he played a bad guy, and like wasn't a fan of him. And then I watched him in Flash, and Flash as a character made me like Grant Gustin as an actor. So I now like
Grant
him.
Gustin plays the thing I think that's very difficult for actors and actresses and finding the right one is when you're playing superheroes, you have to play the hero, and you also have to play like the actual, well, what am I looking for? The not hero version, the everyday version.
Yeah.
The alter ego. There we go.
Their secret identity.
And I feel like you get an actor or actress, and it doesn't always translate well. So I think that Grant Gustin is probably the best one that I've seen that is both, he's great as Barry Allen, and then he's great as the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no weird, like, so there were parts of, don't get me wrong, Andrew Garfield is by far, like, my favorite version of Spider-Man. He's probably
So
top
far,
tier.
yes.
Is one of my favorite actors, but he also, and he's, like, super handsome, but he played an amazing Spider-Man, but I think his Peter Parker kind of like teetered a little bit, And I think that the best version of that we've ever seen, or at least that I feel that I've ever seen, is Grant Gustin being Barry Allen and being the Flash. That being said, I'm excited to see Ezra Miller because the version of the Flash that they're going for, or at least that I kind of see them going for, is a very much much more awkward Barry Allen and kind of antisocial and doesn't quite know how to adapt socially. In the trailer, he's like, yes, I need friends. That sounds good.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Sounds like a good plan.
Can I keep your battering?
Yeah, so it's this awkward, I don't know how to talk to people well because I hide behind the internet kind of thing.
I'm socially awkward.
And it's really cute and kind of endearing, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think that they're going for a different approach on him, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot to look forward to, hopefully.
Yes.
We'll see. Okay.
Marvel, you keep doing your thing because you're doing great.
Except for Thor and Hulk.
Oh. Yeah.
Going,
Yeah. Age of Ultron was fine. Civil War I liked. It had problems,
they're all good movies. Whether
Yeah,
or not
they're-
they're great movies and great films is another. Yeah.
As a whole, I think Marvel's live action is way better than
Oh,
DC's
yeah.
live action,
For
and
sure.
DC's animated is way better than Marvel.
Exactly.
I can't even think of a animated Marvel film from recent.
I don't
We don't
think
watch them
they've
anyway.
Yeah.
recently.
I think they had some old ones, but whatever. They weren't that good.
Okay, so I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Amanda, where can we find you on the internet?
So you can find me under AKA Amanda Kane on Twitter and Twitch and Instagram, and then if you go to my Twitter, it'll actually say what my PSN and Xbox and all that stuff is because it's my old one, and that's under Wake Up Paramore. But I've got a whole list, and it's pinned to the top of my
So
page.
high maintenance.
I'm so high maintenance. It's because I can't change anything, and at this point, it's why is only PSN going to be the one thing that's left that's under Wake Up Paramore? So
Because damn you, Shuhei.
no,
Right.
don't do that.
Steven, where can we find you on the internet?
I'm at number 8 Axel on Twitter, and that's mostly where I put everything that I do. So if you just follow me there, you'll probably get everything.
Because you podcast and everything too, right?
Yeah, I do a
Want to pimp
podcast.
that out?
Sure. I do a podcast. We try to do it weekly with Danny Juarez, Brendan, my roommate, and then another friend of ours, Trevor. It's called Illustrious Magic. If you just Google Illustrious Magic Podcast, you'll probably find it. And yeah, we usually talk about games and movies and whatever else we've been doing, and it's a fun time. So.
Awesome. And I just want to bring light to the fact that I introduced you to Danny Juarez, so
Oh boy.
you're
Yes.
welcome for that.
Thank
I
you.
totally did. I was in Vegas for that bachelorette party, and I was like, I want to have brunch with some of my friends, and they don't know each other, so that's fine. And now you guys are all besties.
Yes. Thank you.
Woo! Okay, you can find me at HarleyQuinn103 on everything because I'm like Amanda. I got all my names on one place. You can find us at Lipstick Nerds on Twitter. You can email us questions and all that kind of good stuff to lipsticknerdsmlg@gmail.com. This has been episode 49. Steven, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it, even though you didn't really wear lipstick, but that's fine. You know,
Oh wow, she just called you out.
I did, and I
I
waited
did.
till the end. I waited till the end to do it. So
I didn't know.
next time. All right, guys. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Bye guys.